classify the human cells of game changers in this place. My group mates, you know those group mates, and the young mates, okay? For whatever, I selected this title, coined this title of my seminar, Game Changer, and addressing the scarcity of the two main drivers of agriculture and food systems. You may agree or disagree with me. If you all agree, then there will be no discussion. Or perhaps you can also agree, but we can pursue more in-depth discussion later on. I'm happy at least aking idol dito sa cabin simula dito nandito siya, nasa unahan. Yung dalawang magkatabi yun, no? Ano pagkalis? Yes, the two parts, yun naman, hindi ko sinabi kaagad ano yung two main drivers. Sabi ko kanina, you may agree or disagree with me, but you know, this is, I'm working as a professional, you know, as an agronomist, by discipline, and farming by vocation. I came to realize towards the end of my career that these are the main two drivers for agriculture. Talk about genes. And then the second part is what are the game changer to harder this scarcity. Yes, why water and energy were considered as the two main drivers for agriculture, the food system, and not the population, the usual thing. You know? Agriculture is a consequence to begin with. If there is no demand for food, there is no agriculture. So what drive agriculture? It's the population. So we need to produce food for our people. But if you look at, of course, the driver for food is the water and energy. But if you look at population as the main driver, then how do you address it? Do you stop population growth? Can you do it? Okay. Well, some said can we stabilize population? There are some countries now where we have stabilized their population, meaning there's no more growth. But they also have a problem. They call it demographic transition. When was that? I read in Japan there are 18,000 idle classrooms. 18,000 idle classrooms. In the Philippines, we need 40,000 classrooms every year. This is not 40,000. Ano yung mas maganda doon? Okay? You see, we are now 2017 world population 7.6 billion. Okay? 60% in Asia. We are in the Southeast Asia. We have about 640 million, or 0.64 billion. But there are two countries whose population sum up 37% of the global population, you know, like India and China. How can India address population? Of course, China had addressed population. They have one-child policies in the 60s. You just imagine kung hindi nag-address ng one-child policy ang China in the 1960s, they might be 3 billion now. At 1.4 billion, they're already creating what? What if they are 3 billion? So, you may agree or disagree with me. So difficult to really handle population. Otherwise, wala na akong kapunyo. I won't be enjoying my retiring work already. We're doing a apostolic job here. It's so different when you are already taking good care of your apo. Okay. Bakit ko na pindot yata ang mali?
Next.
Yan. Yes, let me tackle the first driver. Why energy? Producing and distributing food is energy intensive. Organic system, 1 calorie of food, you spend 3 to 4 calories of energy to produce, 3 to 4 calories to distribute, or 6 to 8 calories of energy to make it available in the table. Do it conventional through chemical agriculture, 8 to 10 calories to produce and another 3 to 4 calories to distribute, meaning 11 to 14 calories per calorie of food. You see how inefficient we are, how demanding in terms of energy. Why? And then what's the problem with this? We're saying that food is energy. Producing food uses a lot of energy, and it is essentially fossil fuel oil. That's why one author said, "Oh, we are eating oil." Directly on the. And what about fossil fuel? Consuming fossil fuel supply has reached its global peak, meaning to say we have already used, the world has used about half of it. And consuming oil has generated 70 to 80% of carbon causing global warming. Oh, we are suffering now from 1 degree centigrade rise in temperature. That's why my friend here is talking about climate smart agriculture. Sometimes the word smart is intriguing to me. How do you become smart? The other implication, burning all the oil will liberate 17 teragigaton carbon dioxide equivalent. The calculated limit is only 1 teragigaton, so temperature rise will not exceed 2 degrees centigrade. In fact, in another literature, burning all the fossil fuel, okay, will cause an increase in temperature of about 9.5 degrees centigrade. You know, this is the main game changer in the early part of the 18th century when Edwin Drake discovered oil. It made our food production and distribution so oil dependent, but of course, it's the same system that made available so much food, but at the same time, it causes a lot of carbon emission, wherein the food system is contributing 44 to 57% of carbon dioxide equivalent, which is the data presented by Grain. And we are now addicted to oil. You know, our president, he only considered drug addiction. He did not consider the most damaging addiction, that is oil. We are addicted to oil, to the use of oil. In 2015, it was estimated that we are consuming 93 million barrels per day. That is equivalent to 34 billion barrels per year. But by 2017, we are not even tempering our consumption. We are already consuming 99.5 million barrels per day. That translates to 36 billion barrels per year. You know, 1 barrel of oil is almost equivalent to 159 or 160 liters. And we burn 1 liter of oil, that will emit 3.15 kilograms CO2. When we say food, it is produced, but how do you make it available in the table? And that is what we call the main challenges to food logistics, which is also so oil dependent. We need power to transport, to store, to process. We need the factories, the mills, equipment, and tools. They're all using oil. What's that? The oil-based agriculture paved the way for sufficient food, averting malnutrition prognosis. But is Malthus correct? Or he is wrong? Well, when Edwin Drake discovered oil, that changed everything. Okay? It facilitated food production. The Haber-Bosch process of producing, manufacturing nitrogen, so we can grow crops. Of course, Borlawag, plant breeding, they were able to come up with good varieties, so high-yielding varieties. But those increased yield also enhance soil erosion, there's pollution, there's declining crop yields without the use of fertilizer, so because of decreased fertilizer use. And then, of course, the action, the response is to increase the use of fertilizer and pesticide derived from petroleum. So parang ganun eh. Okay? In the Philippines, if only for us to be self-sufficient in rice, we need to have an average yield of 6 tons per hectare right now. Okay? Meaning to say, in some fields we should be getting about 8 or 10 tons. In some fields we should be getting 3, 4, 5 tons. For irrigated areas, we should be getting a minimum 7 to 8 tons. But we tried to analyze the yield data. In math, they call it inflection point. The inflection point for rice yield is 6 tons. Achieving higher yields will demand higher energy in terms of fertilizer. Increasing yield from 6 to 10 tons to 8.3 tons per hectare increase the energy bill by 50%. Where shall we get all the fertilizer to increase the yield? Yung ating kaibigan dito siguro can help me at this. Furthermore, soil organic matter decline. Perhaps you study, please include this. When you talk of agriculture, you should understand soil science. If you decrease soil organic matter, you decrease water holding capacity, tension capacity. Practically, 40% of crop production worldwide are grown in 20% of world's cultivated area. And most of these are irrigated through pump irrigation. So that is utilizing energy. Where shall we get all the energy? Pump the water. Of course, one scientist said, hey, we cannot be food self-sufficient if we are to irrigate lands. If we are anchoring our food production on irrigation. Photosynthesis is carbon dioxide by what? Plus water. So there will be no photosynthesis if there is no water. So that will be the next topic. The second driver is water. Producing food is water intensive. I'm always reminded with this equation when I was taking soil physics. 1 kilogram dry biomass is equal to 3,000 kilograms of water. This figure for rice, I'm quoting it from Ziegler, the former director of theory. 1 kilogram of rice is 5,000 kilograms of water. We consume about 114 kilograms of rice every year. So how much water is needed to produce that? If you are already 180 million, how much water? But you see, that is not the main water consuming. Sorry, hindi ko pala na-project yun. Yun ang data. No? Of course, it's so luxurious in the Philippines to eat beef, but not in Canada or US. where they consume about 100 liquid, 20 kilograms meat. 1 kilogram of beef will consume 19,000 kilograms of water on the average, which is the amount of water that you are using to take a bath, to take your shower in a year. So friends, if you have eaten 1 kilogram of beef, that's your choice now. To eat beef or not to take a bath for 1 whole year. Imagine nyo ngayon, climate change, 2-3 beses ako naliligo sa isang araw. Just imagine if you do not take a bath for 1 year. Of course, the young gentlemen here, or the young ladies here, we always want to be given the chocolate. But that is equivalent to 17,000 liters of water. That's 1 kilogram of chocolate. 1 unit of pizza, I do not know how many grams. That's 1,231. So anyway, what is our water inventory? You may claim that we have lots of water, but 97.4% is salt water. You cannot drink water. Okay. 2% is locked up in the ice caps and glaciers. Look at the available fresh water. It's only about 0.03% of the total water. And something like 4.8% of the total fresh water. This is the data on water use by part. 70% of fresh water are used for agriculture, 20% for industry, 10% for residential purposes. Fresh water consumption is almost 2 times that of its replenishment rate. Kaya siguro yung iba nagtitipid na rin sa pag-inom eh. Okay? You're supposed to drink 4 liters per day. Sino nakakainom ng 4 liters per day dito? By the way, this is one of the entry point also for analysis for the economists. If you don't realize, economic growth is also leading us to where we have already overshoot our resources by 50% ecologically. We have already consumed 18 times more material resources compared to the year 1960s. 11 times more energy. Why? Because population plus economic growth, we consume a lot. Another is side influence of consumption. Carbon emission. Pre-industrial level, 280 parts per million. We're not very sure right now, but something that our carbon emission has accumulated to something like 430 parts per million. Why? Because on the way to produce our food, as I've said a while ago, quoting the data from grain, our food system is emitting 46 to 54%, posing global warming, climate change. Of course, the greenhouse gas emission is combined effects of deforestation, oil-based agriculture or food systems, globalized instead of localized food, which is food miles. I'll show you data later on. The impacts of food transport, and of course, economic growth when you consume more. You know, the best lifestyle is the pauper lifestyle because they consume less. Economic growth is growing, is leading to term gusto nyo marinig? Distraction lang. My friend found difficulties in finding parking area for cars. We have so many cars in the Philippines now. Wait, that's another discussion. So, the way we produce food, hey, who's fire in California? May nag-pop sa akin tablet kanina. The problem now in Cafus when there was very strong rain in North Carolina, about 30 inches of rains. Billion and billion tons of animal waste were dumped into the nearby water. So there's so much pollution. They claim that we have to limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Because if it will reach 2 degrees centigrade, ayun, ano na? Goodbye. Hindi na mag-work siguro yung climate smart agriculture. Of course, we need 2.1 trillion investment. Hindi ko na po alam, bilangin itong trillion nito. And it's sterling. Between 2016 to 2035, or about 2.5% of world GDP. And we need to sequester back 1.2 trillion gigaton of CO2 equivalent. How do we sequester back? In one seminar, I tried to pencil push how we can do this. We can do this in the summer. How do we feed the billions? Or we want innovation. Resources scarcity, the mother of innovations. But technological innovations should be decoupled with energy, carbon emission, and it should be water use efficient. Plus, it must be inclusive among the economies. Want to inclusive economic growth. They have estimated by 2030 the world will need around 50% more food. Energy 30%. As well as plus water. At the same time, we have to mitigate also climate change. But where will our food system lead us? Okay. The way we grow foods now, industrial food system, is concentrated on 4 crops alone. How can we be climate smart if we are living only? Growing on 4 crops, supplying 3/4. So what are the game changers? What are the game changers to harder this scarcity of to identify drivers of our system? Well, you may agree or disagree with me, but those who disagree with me are still on their peak of the nihilism. In the agriculture and food system, the game is organic agriculture. But on the other hand, my friends, if all the farmers will shift to organic agriculture tomorrow, we will go hungry. I guarantee that. You know why? Because soil fertility has declined by 40 to 60%. So yields will decline, like manner, 40 to 60% if we will not use tomorrow chemical fertilizer. So that is our dilemma, right? That's the real challenge. Here I am saying, organic agriculture is the game changer. The second green revolution, or the fourth wave agriculture, agriculture 4.0. Of course, others say it's precision agriculture. I do not know how you can make agriculture precise with climate change. Of course, yung mga scientists kasi, to market their research or whatever, they need to coin what? New terms or what? Wala naman magagaling ng mga scientists eh. I was introduced as a UP scientist, of course. That is the way of survival in the academy. To coin new words. Okay, yun ang entry point ninyo. Ano? Coining new words. But the reality, ano bang bago? Okay. So, why I claim organic agriculture as the game changer? You talk about energy, we need to decrease our energy bill. In rice production, organic rice can reduce the energy input from 69 to 76%. She's a surface scholar. My former advisor in the Bay. So it's from Myanmar. So the way to go in organic rice and in rice production, to be smart, is to go organic. But if you are to go organic, if you will not improve the soil, then yields decrease. Let me go back. So, ito po ang reality. Food production now is so expensive. But we want cheap food. Tol, alam mo ba kung anong CPI corrected price ng rice relative to its price in the 1970s?
No.
It's already 150 pesos per kilo. And how much is rice? It's only 40 or 50 pesos per kilo. Only 1/3 of its CPI corrected price. And that is precisely the reason why farmers are poor. Hindi po umagapay ang presyo ng produkto nila. And yet, cost of production is so high. We need to address water, and yet soil organic matter is very low. How can we retain water in the soil? By the way, many people are sick. Karamihan ng pagkakasakit ng tao ay dahil sa pagkain. Sinong nagdi-disagree sa akin? So, we want organic food, safe food. Marami rin ang nagkakasakit kasi wala nang exercise. The best exercise is growing food in your garden in the farm. When you grow your own food, it's organic. So it's in your garden, in your farm, where you have your first bath through your perspiration, where you eat your salad. Take it from me. Healthy plants grow in healthy soil. Pay the farmer now or pay your doctor later. Marami sa atin namamahalan sa organic food. Kung namamahalan po kayo sa organic food, grow your own food. I don't know how to be smart. If you are smart, you are already growing your own food. Sino po ang nagtatanim ng sarili nilang pagkain ngayon? Wala makapagtanim. Isa lang. So isa lang dito, exceptional. Lahat kayo, hindi na smarte. Isa lang. Dalawa lang kami ang smarte pala dito. Tatlo.
Apat na tayo, bigay mo yung sibling.
You know, if you're smart, don't eat poison food. If you are not growing your own food, 99.9%, I guarantee you are eating poison food. Diba? 99% of our food right now are grown through the use of chemical fertilizer and pesticides.
And only very few scientists admit that. Just add
Because they are still on their peak of denial.
that science.
Yun ang racket nila eh. Diba? Yun ang kanilang survival. Don't blame the scientists. Lahat tayo, we are on the survival mode. Diba? So, if you point an accusing finger, remember, 3 are pointing towards you and 1 up. So, yun po ang aking bukid paraiso. Organic agriculture is making agroecology at work. Hindi, pinaglalaro mo yung 4 na yun. Crops, soils, water, pests. Pests. Peste ka ng buhay ko. Parte sila. So you should know how to live with the pests. Hindi ka smarte if you consider them as pests. They're part of creation anyway. Okay? Ba't mo sila lalasunin? Lalo sila magagalit. Organic farms are productive. Tinitreat nila kasi yung organic farming as non-scientific, farming as backward. Kasi hindi nila pinag-aaralan. Diba? Why organic farms are productive? When you visit, because your thesis is in the Philippines, you visit now, many productive organic farms there. Okay? I can give you their address. The basis is nutrient cycling. Oh, my friend, Rafi here. Who are practitioner of nutrient cycling here? Narinig na ba ninyo ang compost toilet? Sino nang nakarinig ng compost toilet? Ngayon lang. Sino na ngayon ang merong compost toilet? Wala. Ni isa, no? Ako lang po yun siguro merong isang compost toilet.
Natatakutan ko.
Ha? Okay. Pinakamasustansya, kinakain natin, di ba? Eh di mas maraming nutrients yan. Our body only assimilate 18 to 20% of the food that we eat. Meaning to say, what? About 80% of the food that we eat, nandun sa ating. Eh sinasayang natin yun. The biggest latrine is the Laguna Lake. 10 million households finally are sending their waste in Laguna Lake. Okay? So, bumabalik sa atin. So, the basis of smart agriculture, because it's just the nutrients. That's why we are eating food, because of the nutrients. Tama mo ba?
Yes.
So, yun ang basis ng ating pagkain. That's why it's very energy intensive. We allow burning fossil fuel, behavior post-process, to produce the nitrogen for us. And yet, there are many organisms that are fixing nitrogen. We have many phosphorus solubilizing bacteria nourising the plants, plant growth, promoting bacteria enhancing crop growth and yields. Planted into biodiverse field, not monoculture, there's multi-trophic level interaction for pest, predator, parasites, and parasitoids. There are no pests to begin with. We have healthy soil, healthy crops. We have microbes producing nano-elicitors conferring resistance, immunity to pathogen and other pests. Or one writer or scientist said, systemic acquired resistance, which makes crop resist pests. Pollinators like bees, butterflies, seed spreaders to increase yield. And yet, we are spraying neonics, killing the pollinators. But the basis, of course, is high soil organic matter which feeds this microbial universe in the soil. And we, above all, sequestering carbon dioxide. The other basis is, the basis of our life is the soil, organic carbon. Because it's there where the water is being retained. The second game changer is how to address this simultaneously water, energy, and food sufficiency. Adopting organic agriculture is not enough. Needs efficient, less energy, water using consumption pattern. First is we have to accept crop seasonality. Napakahirap po talaga kung isang agronomist, kami po sa agronomy, sa crop science, ang maraming kasalanan sa crop production. We have this Toym awardee who claimed the off-season mango production. The reason why we have tremendous and complex pest problem in mango because we make them to fruit, to bear fruit the whole year round or off-season. Kaya nga off-season, mataas ang presyo, kaya nga, ini-apply mo ng pesticide. Kasi off-season. Okay? So hindi natin ma-realize, nature devised crop seasonality. We want to outsmart nature. Kaya nagkaluko-luko ang food production system. Look, why is it that during bare months is citrus time? Because the body, it's the winter time, cool season, the body requires a lot of vitamin C. Okay? So titingnan ninyo ngayon ang fruit in season. Don't aspire fruits that are not grown, produced during the season. Eat a lot of these fruit that are produced during the season. Okay? Yun ang kailangan ng katawan natin. Nature devised us to be healthy. And yet, we do not recognize that. Pinaniwalaan natin yung mga scientists, of course, and farmers would like to earn more money. Bakit last year, masyado mataas ang presyo ng mangga? Tinamaan ng insect. But this year, bagsak ang presyo ng mangga. Why? Nag-boom ang mangga ng Ilocos. Hindi sila tinamaan ng insect. So, organic agriculture, we can try in off-season production. We have to follow crop seasonality. In like manner, consumption should adjust to crops or food grown in the season. This is the most challenging one. Consume food low in the food chain. Meaning to say, we become vegetarian or less and less meat or plant-based diet. I'll explain later on why. We have to eat locally grown food. That's why it's best to grow your own food to minimize food miles. Reason: long-distance transport will increase the energy bill 22 times. My student computed the increase in the energy bill of food transport. If you're transporting rice only up to 5 kilometers, okay, the energy bill is not that much. But if you transport it already like about 500 kilometers, it is increasing the energy bill 22 times. And we want to import rice from Vietnam, from China, from Thailand, not China, Thailand, from Myanmar. Why we should reduce meat consumption? 70 to 80% of our agricultural lands are used to produce feed, forage, and pasture, or 30% of terrestrial land. More than half of our cereals, about 56%, are fed to animals grown using oil-based input fertilizers. There is excessive thermodynamic loss of food protein. 6 to 7 kilograms of plant protein is used to produce 1 kilogram protein from meat. So, if you combine plus 3 reasons, that is the reason why we are clearing lands, so much lands, and that is deforestation. Simple equation: meat consumption is equal to deforestation. We have deforested roughly 70 to 80% of our land, of our area, of our forests, because of meat consumption. If you want to be smart, be vegetarian. But that is the most difficult. You know, there is now this global threat of African swine fever outbreak. And it is attributed to industrial farming. Mabago talaga mag-analyze ng scientists. They did not realize that industrial farming is just a tool. Okay? From the economics logical, because of the demand. People love to eat meat. Practically, people are meat lovers, including the Filipinos now. The average consumption of meat is about 29 kilograms, whereas 30 or 40 years back, it's 9 kilograms only. Canadians, 120 kilograms. So, in China, they have what we call hotels for 13 stories. Okay? 1,000 huts per story. But you know, meat consumption in China is more than half, or they consume more than half of the world's meat. That's the threat now. They are to slaughter 200 million hogs. Beware, please, don't buy canned meat coming from China. So the resource use of meat, you see, there is ramification in addition to huge thermodynamic loss of food, the excessive use of water. As I mentioned a while ago, 1 kilogram of beef consumes roughly 19 liters of water. 1 kilogram of pork, 8 to 12 kilograms of water, so on and so forth. Land requirement to achieve food sufficiency. If you are into meat-based or Atkinson diet, they call it Atkinson diet, pure meat diet, 1.4 hectare per person. A typical American diet requires 1.35 hectare. If we all eat like the Americans, we will need 4 more earths. Salamat na mundo. But if you're vegetarian, we need only 0.06 hectare. So, the world, we need only 600 million hectares, or 40% of the total 1.5 billion hectares of land. Meaning to say, if we all become vegetarian, then we are liberating something like 75% of our lands, or 60% of our land. 60% of 1.5 billion, that's roughly what? 9.9 billion hectares. That can be devoted for tree planting to sequester back carbon dioxide. So even if you only become 50% vegetarian, then still we can free about 500 million hectares for tree planting. That means we can have the nitrogen required to produce those cereals. Okay? The most damaging input in crop production is nitrogen fertilizer. You know why? 1 kilogram of nitrogen requires 2.12 liter diesel oil equivalent. 1 kilogram of nitrogen, once it is used in crop production, it liberates 12.12 kilogram CO2 equivalent. Kaya, ang buhay natin, gusto nating mangain ng maraming karne, maraming nitrogen. Ang ibig sabihin, saan tayo patungo? Where is your climate smart agriculture? Please, back to that. Plant-based diet, tanong nila, source of protein. Ano may mga source of protein natin? Well, many legumes, mung bean, pigeon pea, bataw, sitaw, moringa contains all the amino acids. Of course, we still have fish. I'm not saying na hindi tayo po kakain ng karne. Meron tayo native chicken. Pwede naman tayo kumain paminsan-minsan na mag-alaga ng bako siguro. Or we can be flexitarian during the transition stage. Huwag po kayo magpapagutom. Kaya wala na kayong makain na iba pag hindi kayo kumain ng karne. By the way, in-include ko po itong signboard dito. In the forests and mountains, animals do not leave trash, but humans do. So please behave like that. Animal agriculture and meat diet, the major causes of tropical deforestation. Anyway, I'm leaving this PowerPoint. Yeah. Analyze it. Of course, we in the Philippines over-smart our environment. Tingnan po ninyo ang gubat sa atin, no? Doon na lang, imagination na lang. Ano to? No? Meron mo bang buhay pa, tingnan niya ng ating mga bundok? Maawa naman po kayo sa ating mga apo. So, if there is one culture na dapat natin pangularin, pari ko magtanim ng punong kahoy. That's the only culture which is being demanded now. We have to plant trees. By the way, we have the law. At the age of 12, we should be planting 1 tree per year at the age of 12. Kung i-retroactive natin yung batas na yon, and you are now age 65, I try to compute that. You have to have planted already about 5,000 trees. Sino nakapagtanim na ng 10 nakapagtanim na ng 10 kahoy dito? We have many ecological debt. Kung may tayo kung kahoy na naitanim mo, wala pa. You're about 40.
Thank you.
Yeah. Tumalab naman. I trimmed down many of my slides and I was not able to include that. Yes. So I was mentioning animals, the major contributor of greenhouse gases, 30 to 36%. You see, the animals are contributing more greenhouse gases than the 850 million vehicles computed at that time. Of course, we have more than 1 billion vehicles right now. Carbon footprint of these animals. Kasi parang meron tayo. Bilisan mo na. Meat consumption is on the rise. World meat consumption for 7 million tons in 1950s, 260 million tons in 2005. Consumption of milk and eggs have also risen. Global animal production, 1.7 billion sheep and goats, 1.3 billion cows, 0.85 billion pigs, 10 to 11 billion fowls and chicken, 525 million dogs, and 600 million plus cats. We talk about food security. Of course, alin po ang pakakainin natin? Yung mga dogs o cats? Yung mga tao. Marami tayong dog lovers, cat lovers, mga pet lovers. Meat consumption is 20. I mentioned. If we eat less and less meat, there will be great reduction in fossil fuel energy, water of our food, which is centered on grains, grain production and fertilized with this heavier boss nitrogen fertilizer, less pressure to produce feed grains, providing ample time to convert farms into organic. Yun ang natin. If we are to, then we have time to go to organic. Reducing meat consumption by 1/2 shall free 0.7 billion hectares of land that can be reverted back to forest lands. Summary na po. The game changers to harden the scarcity of water and energy in agriculture and food systems are 1. Adopt localized biodiverse organic agriculture. So, we need less energy, water efficient system, cost-saving, safe, and healthy foods. Huwag po kayong magkakasakit kasi malaki ang water and energy bill. Ang kinukumpute lang kasi yung pera eh. Isipin po ninyo kung gaano kalaki ang energy na kukonsume sa hospital, yung paggawa ng building na yan, at pag-deliver ng mga equipment, so on and so forth. Kaya pag kayo yung nagkasakit, lumalaki ang inyong carbon footprint. Second is to shift to plant-based diet, less and less meat, free more lands, plant trees, less grains to be fed to animals. In combination with agriculture, use less energy and water, sequesters carbon dioxide in the landscape. And we will be able to avert this cataclysmic rise in global temperature to 2 degrees centigrade. And we can maintain the global temperature at about 1.5 degrees. Maraming salamat sa inyong attention.